Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Aquarian Mind Podcast. Today's podcast, episode number 303. I'm your host, Jamel Crothers, and it's Book Insight Friday. So, today is going to be a real good one because I think it's time I need to talk about this. The realities of being a writer and author. Yes. This is so necessary. Because what's been happening, well, at least with me, I would say in the last 2 years, people meet me and, have conversations and, people find out I'm an author and I'm a writer and a poet and a podcaster and, all these titles, right? And people go, oh, well, how many books have you published? And then, when I say the number, it's like people's eyes get big, their eyebrows raise, and it's like, okay, great. Like, okay, cool. Like, chill out, calm down. Let's get an understanding of like where I am in my life. 1, I live alone. 2, I'm not married. 3, I don't have any kids. 4, I don't have a ton of responsibilities, that like a married man would have or anything like that, right? So there are a lot of elements and advantages that I have. Plus, I don't have family to distract me. I live on the West Coast now, so it's like a whole different element. Everyone's on the East Coast. With the exception to my uncle. So the realities of me being a writer and an author, yeah, it's different, right? Now, this goes for pretty much all authors in a nutshell who are self-published. I can't speak for authors who, have the backing of, a book publishing company, right? Okay, so the first aspect of this is the ideas. And the ideas come all the time and regularly, especially when your mind is chugging away and, you're constantly thinking of new innovative ways to, write things like that, things that aren't being written about. It depends on the author, the writer, and who they are, right? And I've met people who have a folder dedicated to all their ideas, just like me. Tons of book ideas, things like that. I write on social issues. You guys know this by now, right? The ideas used to come to me at 1 a.m, right? Pretty much flat out. I gotta get it written in my phone, come back to it later, like a possible book title, a brief synopsis of what I could write about, maybe a couple of characters, names, whatever the case is. I come back to it later, revisit it. Okay, this is what it is, right? The next part of it is you start to write a book and you've got to decide what you're going to write about, what's going to be discussed, how many characters, is it your own personal story, is it not, are you including certain aspects of your life, are you not? When you decide on the characters, what are the characters' names, do they fit the narrative and motive of what you're trying to write about? And it's, doing brainstorming sessions. I always tell people brainstorm everything, write down anything that comes to mind, write it in a notebook, get it written out, and then decide how you're going to do it. Chapter layouts, what you want to discuss in your chapters, all that stuff. I keep telling people this, I will preach this to the gospel. I will preach this until I'm 90 years old. God willing, I live that long. If I live another 50 years, man, I'm blessed. But anyway, write an outline, write your chapters, okay? Because I get messages on Instagram that's, people are like, oh, well, I'm writing and I'm struggling to do this. And I'm like, do you have an outline? Do you have chapters? Do you have your characters laid out? Do you have their main story? Do you have their backstory? Do you have all of this? And it, a lot of people are just like, well, no, I kind of sat down and started to write. And I'm like, yeah, and that's why y'all get writer's block and brain fog. You guys cannot do this. Please, for the love of mankind, just sit your butt down and outline your whole book. Then you could just sit and just write. And then you can and then people start, oh, I don't know. And I start thinking about this and something. And I'm just look, write whatever's on your mind. Edit it later. Like, come on. Like, just do it like Nike says. Like, just write. That's it. Like, I'm coming across all of these overthinkers and overcompensators and overanalyzers. I'm like, look, dude, if you have a gift, like, just take advantage of it. Like, just go. Like, some people are going to like it and some people are not. Some people are going to understand it and some people are not. You're not trying to make, like, billions of people happy. Like, you can't. It's, like, literally impossible, right? So then there's that component, right? The outline, like, and getting all that together. Then it's writing the book, editing it, formatting it, and book covers, right? And also the synopsis. Writing it obviously is the biggest component, and I tell people everyone's on their own pace, their own time. I can bang out a book in a week, and I can bang out a book in a month. It just depends, right? Depends on the book, the content, how much time I have to write, what's going on in my life, other projects I'm working on, other things that I'm focused on. It all boils down to that, right? And how many distractions are around me. So once you get the writing done, it's editing. You can pay someone to edit your book, or you can actually sit and edit it yourself, because you're going to be the only one who knows the lingo and language of how you're writing and portraying your book. So it'd be best if you pretty much edit it yourself. However long it takes, do it. Okay. My books aren't ridiculously long. They're long enough to where I'm just like, yeah, I'm not in the mood for this crap, but I do it. I get it done. Right. Formatting your book. I used to pay someone, but when I made this decision to say, hey, I'm going to write 60 books, going at it $50 to $60 a pop with this person that I was utilizing, that's $3,000 pretty much. So I had to find a way to format it myself, and I found a great website. They're based in Italy. I pay them about $7, $8 a month in US dollars to utilize their website and format my stuff, because once again, you know, you get a certain amount of storage on the website, and once you hit that limit, then it's all right, well, you got to pay for this. So I'm like, all right, fine. Converted the euro to the US dollar. All right, fine. I'm not going to die over it, right? So I format my own books. I copy and paste from what I've done after I've edited everything, put it onto their platform, and put everything together as far as the chapters, the layout, all that stuff, right? Once I have my EPUB, my Mobi, my PDF, great, I'm done. Book covers, I try to make ahead of time. I do pre-made a lot of stuff on Canva. Sometimes I can kind of craft up something on my own. There are very few book covers that I actually paid someone. One Drink Too Many, which is a standalone. Code Blue, that series, paid someone. And maybe like a few others. Oh, America Under Mind Control, America Country Divided. So I would say, yeah, it would be those books that I pretty much paid someone to make those for me. Thankful, blessed. And, you know, there's that component. So this is just the start of it, right? Then there comes all of these decisions that you have to make. What's going to be the price of your ebook? What's going to be the price of your paperback? What platforms are you going to have them on? Is it going to be Amazon only? Or is it going to be Amazon Barnes and Nobles? Or is it going to be Amazon Barnes and Nobles, Apple, Kobo, Scribe, Biblioteca, Biblio, Smashwords, all that stuff, right? So there's tons of platforms, right? So you can have Amazon, your own stuff, cool. But if you bind yourself into, you know, their little spiel, then you're binded to them for 3 months. You can't sell your books on your own. You can't have them on other platforms. See, yeah, it wasn't with all that. And then if you decide to go with your other platforms that I just mentioned, and that's just scratching the surface. I barely named all of them that I have my books on. You know, you go to Draft to Digital. It's a one-pop shop where you can pretty much decide all of those. They have access to all of those platforms that you can publish your books on, so it makes it a lot easier on yourself. And there's, that decision, and, what pricing you're going to have. You got to put your books in the right categories on those websites and keywords. And there's a lot that goes into it. None of it is easy. Just because I have all the books that I have, it doesn't make it easy. It's just I have a routine and I'm disciplined and I'm consistent in what I'm doing. That's the difference for me. Everyone else, they have their own journey. Then there's new projects that come up and things that you want to work on. Because obviously, one book's not going to be enough, right? You gotta write a few to garner a consistent audience, right? They may buy your first book, but now they're like, well, what's that person's next book going to be? Or what is it going to be about, right? There's also a website, because you got to build one, because people have got to be able to find you on Google and Bing and DuckDuckGo and all those other search platforms, right? They got to be able to type in your name, and they've got to be able to find you and find you quickly, right? So that's big. And there's also, blogging, and also, making sure your website looks good, it's efficient, the colors look nice, it's readable, it's legible, it's got to look good on a phone more importantly than a computer, because the reality of it is phones go with people everywhere. Laptops, not necessarily. And to prove my point, when I head back home for the holidays, yeah, my laptop's staying here. I mean, it's going to be locked away somewhere, but I'm not taking my laptop home. What do I need it for? I have my phone and I have my iPad. My iPad is basically a smaller version of my laptop. So would I rather carry a smaller device? Yeah, pretty much in a nutshell. So, yes, it does have to look good on a computer, but if it looks good on a tablet, an iPad, and Android or iPhone, you're good to go. And then there's social media, the fun part. Excuse me. It's being engaging and posting your content and utilizing hashtags, and sometimes it's pay to play, where it's, what my boy says, you gotta, do your ads and stuff like that. So, and then you gotta decide how you're going to promote yourself. And it's not gonna be just on social media platforms. The reality of it is most of my books sell through being at book festivals, meeting people, and doing book promotions through websites that have newsletters. Email newsletters is huge, because people are getting a direct email to them for specific books that they want to read. So that's huge, right? So it's finding those websites and, making sure that they promote your specific category. So if you're women's fiction, if you're romance, if you're dark romance, if it's sci-fi, if it's fantasy, your opportunities are there. For me, it's a little bit more challenging. I write social issues, so you've got to find your niche. You've got to find those right websites. There's also doing interviews, radio interviews, things like that. You can utilize Fiverr, pay to play. Like I said, get yourself out there, get your platform out there through the people who, have an audience. There's a lot that goes into it. And this is just scratching the surface. And this is not like a get rich quick scheme or anything like that. This is, really growing your brand and your platform, and really taking the time to understand that this is a journey and it's not a quick 100-meter yard race. And we all have to really learn how patience is a virtue, and that when you're talented and you're gifted in this space, you have to utilize it as best as you can. And you have to find the right platforms that are going to support you and be there for you. And I'm thankful to Lauren Brill. Big, huge shout out to her. She started a platform called The Unsealed, where people are writing about their lives through poetry, through, short form stories, and also letters. And you've got to go read about her story. Her name is Lauren Brill, Brill. All you need to do is type that in a Google search, DuckDuckGo, Bing, Yahoo, whatever, and I promise you, you will learn of who she is, what she's about. She is an Emmy Award winning sportscaster in the past, but now she is more focused on social issues, social justice, and bringing people together through community. So definitely want to shout her out. She has been huge in such a short amount of time, and I'm thankful for her in so many ways. Point is that being an author takes a lot. There's a lot of hard work, dedication, long nights, early mornings, sacrifices, not seeing family and friends, missing barbecues, missing family get-togethers, or if you're going to go to those, you've got to get your work done. So there is no guilt of not doing your work. There's this innate drive to, impact people. And I think that's what it is for me. I think that's what it is for a lot of other authors who are in this space. And a lot of authors are writing to give you an opportunity to escape, through, certain categories and certain things that they're writing about. So just know that none of this is easy. And I want you guys to always, be able to reach out to me. And the aquariummindpodcast.com, you can reach out to me. Aquariummindwrites.com, you can reach out to me. And drop me a line. If you are definitely, working on something, you want to write a book and you want to, get through this journey. I've helped a few people. I'm thankful that I've been able to do this. I've learned a lot of things on my own. So I'm going to pass the torch to everyone else and continually work hard and know that I'm going to get to where I need to be and where I want to be. So with that said, that is my podcast for today. Just a heads up, next week there will be no podcast. I will be taking a week off. There will be podcasts continuing back on Monday, October 16th. Monday, October 16th, I will be making my return back. Every once in a while, I need a break. Every once in a while, I need to focus on other content, and that's what I will be doing. So have a good weekend. Have a good rest of your next week. I will be back soon. Be good, everyone, and go accomplish your goals.